So the Legolas run ended in tragedy, and I'll talk more about it at the end of the video. Today we're going to be bringing Legolas back, but he's not alone. In fact, we have most of the Fellowship of the Ring with us today. I tried to make each character as close to the characters from Lord of the Rings as I could, and to make it harder, I did not give them any extra skills aside from the ones they got from their backstory. And so like if we clear all their skills, the only thing I gave them was Burning Passions for skills that I thought they'd be good at. As far as our starting location, we're starting pretty close to this ruined city, which should have enemies there. It's part of the Separatist droid army, and we'll go more into what that is later on. But pretty close by is Tuckborough, which is a location in the west farthing of the Shire, which just basically means it's a part of the Shire. And then there's a neutral city, which I've never explored an actual city that's not ruined yet. And you can tell by the icon if it's ruined or not. I don't know what's going to be there if we can take it over because we're technically not hostile with them. And then we got the elves over here to the east a bit. We started next to the ruined city because we're going to explore that pretty much right away. Mainly after we just explore our map a bit and get our starting area set up. For starters, we got a couple ruins on the map towards the southwest, and we got a lot of rich soil down here as well. I think this southwest area would make a perfect starting base location. And like over here next to this rich soil, we got a couple ruins that are kind of pre-built for us. So I think we'll start by just making bedrooms out of those and walling them in. And speaking of bedrooms, down here we have a marble double bed, which we can uninstall, as well as a marble dresser and a marble table. So we'll uninstall all of that, and we'll grab the cooler too. And there's actually another cooler. Not that we really have any use for the coolers right now. So for starters, we're going to separate this room into two rooms. One's going to be a bedroom, it has the dresser, and one is going to be our rec room slash eating area. And we're going to plop the table down, as well as we're going to make two wooden stools, and we're going to wall this structure in, as well as separate the rooms with wood, which Samwise is currently cutting for us. Artisan farmer gives Sam 2 cooking, 7 planting, as well as gardener gives him 8 planting, bringing him up to a massive 15 in plant skill and 2 in cooking, both of which he has a burning passion for, and he's going to be mowing through these trees. Meanwhile, we got a few of these stegosauruses on the map, and being that Aragorn is a woodsman, he has this ability Animal Bond, which allows him to tame a beast as long as its wildness is not above 70%. And luckily for us, these stegosauruses are 70% wildness. Now when he gets level ups in the woodsman tree, we can increase that wildness up to 100%, so we could tame some really beastly animals. And by using the skill, it doesn't necessarily tame the animal, it creates a bond with it, and Aragorn can only have a bond with one animal. But we can change which animal we want to bond with if, say, we find a better animal. But the Stegosaurus will just do for now. And now the Stegosaurus joined us, and we now have all the upgrades for training the Stegosaurus. So we can not only mount it, but it can even haul stuff around for us if we wanted to. And so like we'll have Aragorn mount it, and that'll make him quicker while he goes around, and I guess he's hauling wood for us to these stools. And he's trying to build, but I don't know if we want them to be building, as there's a pretty good chance they will botch wherever they try to build. Well, I guess there's only a 25% chance, but if we have Gimli construct for us, there's a very low chance that he botches anything. I think 5 construction skill is like 9% only. Before we have him build anything though, we're gonna have him mine a bit of steel, as he does have 13 mining. Being that he's a cave world tunneler, he gets 1 construction, 6 mining, and the dwarf miner gives him 4 construction and 7 mining, bringing him up to 5 construction and 13 mining. He's also a gladiator, so he gets 20% more mining speed and yield, as well as since he's a dwarf, he gets 25% more mining speed and 10% more mining yield. And so overall 30% more mining yield I think makes it so he should be getting like around 33 steel, but the extra yield boosts that to 44, and we get some of this unrefined magicite, which we just get randomly from mining, and that can be used for making enchanting gems, which we do have to research. Speaking of research, we're going to make Gandalf a research bench, which costs a good amount of wood and steel. We'll give him a dining chair as well, because currently he can't really do anything. Combining magic and science, Gandalf has become a technomancer, which makes him really good at researching and also gives him a bit of extra shooting accuracy. War Refugee gives him 6 shooting, 5 intellectual, and Human Computer gives him 3 shooting, 7 intellectual, which is going to make him really good at researching, so we're going to get him built up a research table ASAP. After mining out a bunch of steel, we got Gimli over here constructing the dining chair and the research bench, which by the way, I think this structure is on top of rich soil, because this darker soil is all rich soil, and you can see it kind of extends out here past this structure. So we might eventually want to deconstruct all this structure, and we can move this research table too, at least once we start growing a lot of crops. And now we got the research bench built. We'll make this Gandalf's personal research room, and we'll give him a bed, we'll wall it in, we'll give him a roof. And the first tech we're going to research is battery, simply because we want to start using wind power as soon as we possibly can. In order to make effective use of wind power, we're gonna need some batteries. We'll also start making some other beds, and wow, Legolas actually made 2 normal bows. That's pretty impressive. Only 1 awful one. With his 2 crafting skill, there's only a 23.5% chance that the bows are normal, 53% chance they're poor, and 20% chance they're awful. So getting 2 normal bows was actually really lucky. We'll give Legolas a normal bow, Aragorn a normal bow, and Gandalf the awful one, I guess. After giving Legolas a bow, we're going to have him hunt this Lernean Hydra, which is a pretty dangerous creature, assuming we wanted to tame it, as it has a 10% chance it will revenge when we fail taming it, which is pretty high, so we're not going to try to tame it. It doesn't have any armor, which is perfect, so we can probably disabling shot it, and we'll have Legolas quickly finish it off, as we only have a couple seconds to do this, or it will get back up. Alright, he insta-killed it, and now we need to have someone butcher it, which we need to build a butchering table for that. As it so happens, Aragorn actually gets a 5% extra butchery speed, which is not much, but as he does level up a bit more, that will increase, and he's not really doing anything right now anyways. So we'll have him go over here and butcher this Hydra, and it's going to give us a lot of meat. Yeah, that's a ton of raw meat, and we really need that badly because everyone's pretty hungry, and the hobbits have been hungry for quite some time. Frodo only has a max food meter of 0.53, which means he has to eat really often, and Samwise does as well. I wonder if that's because they're malnourished, and maybe that makes their food meter go down. I'm not really quite sure. And Sam already got food poisoning. There's a 2% chance of that happening. That's so unlucky. The second person that ate raw meat got food poisoning, and Sam is really doing most of the stuff right now, as far as he's the one that's cutting down all our trees and getting us wood, although now we have a ton of wood. As the food poisoning gets worse, he will become more and more useless until it's over with, but it won't kill him, and we do have plenty of wood, so we'll be okay. Aragorn and Stegosaurus 1 have formed a bond. I don't know if that has to do with the skill animal bond or if they just naturally formed a bond, but now being that Aragorn is Jose's master, which I guess that's what he named him, Jose the Stegosaurus, that gives him a 5 movement bonus, and it gives Jose some bonus stats such as quicker movement, more melee dodge chance, which is really good for an animal, and it takes less pain and gets more manipulation, which I think it means it's going to attack quicker or more accurately. Then again, Stegosauruses aren't the best in melee. They only do 3.6 DPS, and the main reason why we tame this thing to begin with is because it's a pack animal. Also, looks like the food poisoning got to Samwise, and now he's having a tantrum. We're gonna have Frodo try to calm him down with his 15 social, and he should be able to do it. The higher social, the better chance this will work, and yeah, it worked. But yeah, it's a new day, and you may notice that Samwise and Frodo are both sleeping in the same bed, which does not bother them as they are very good friends, extremely good friends, and as many know, Frodo would not have gotten far without Sam. Sam's extremely malnourished, and now he's gonna try to choke down some food, which even though you got food poisoning, you don't want to eat, you still gotta eat, and he's eating at 30% speed right now. Okay, never mind, he's actually eating at 12% speed, and he threw up while he's eating. Oh no. Oh, he threw up again. He probably threw up a little bit on the food too. Come on, Sam, you can do it. Fight through the pain, man. I believe in you, Samwise. And he ate the food. Now, Sam wants to rest, but little Sammy boy has one more task he must accomplish, which is cut down a bunch of these trees that are blocking this wind turbine we're building. Which, by the way, I said I wasn't going to build until we research battery. However, we don't need to have this thing generating us power full time. And ooh, thank you, Mr. Stegosaurus, for hauling that all by yourself. Or I guess I should call you Jose. But yeah, we cleared out all the trees that were blocking the wind turbine, and apparently there's no wind going on right now. And so this nutrient paste dispenser we built is not getting power. Actually, it is getting power now. But essentially the goal is we just need to generate enough power so that when somebody does come over here and grab a meal out of the nutrient paste dispenser, which looks like Frodo's going to show us how it works. I think I've explained how this thing works 3 times in the past couple weeks, it feels like. I promise you guys this is my last startup Rimworld video for quite some time. Essentially, when Frodo does grab it, we have him go to combat mode, disallow the meal, and then we just spam combat mode over and over and over. And we can just do that until we get all the meat out of the nutrient paste dispenser. And we want to do that right now because these nutrient paste meals will last 4 days, whereas this meat's going to go bad in 1.2 days. And Frodo just made 37 meals for us, which was very nice of him. We still have a pretty good amount of meat left over as well. And Sam's also going to help us out here. We're making so many meals. Is that 60 meals we just made? We'll go and grab all the meals and we'll put them in our refrigerator, which currently is not very cold. It's 58 degrees, whereas outside it's 79. But once we get that airlock on there, which Gimli is about to build the airlock. Okay, he botched that wall. But it's okay, Gimli, I forgive you. Even the pros gotta mess up every once in a while. But yeah, so we got the airlock on there, and it looks like this room is actually frozen. The meals are frozen, they will not spoil, as well as the meat will not spoil. Which, like, maybe we shouldn't have made this many meals, because now they're gonna have to go inside the fridge to grab them, whereas if we had a bunch of meat in the hoppers, they could just walk by, grab some nutrient paste out of this nutrient paste dispenser instantly, and just go back to our dining room and eat it. But yeah, essentially the point of this 2-door airlock is that whenever they go into the freezer, if there's only one door and they come out, it's gonna let a bunch of hot air in. But if there's 2 doors, not that much air will will get out, and so the freezer won't lose too much temperature when people are grabbing meals. Also, we have a bunch of this heavy magical leather that we could use to craft into tribal wear, and we're gonna have Legolas and Aragorn craft their own tribal wear, which are probably gonna be pretty bad, and it's kind of a shame we're wasting this heavy magical leather as it's really good material. Aragorn actually got level 1 in crafting, so his won't be as bad as if he only had 0 crafting. And yeah, Legolas is poor, which gives him 24% protection to his torso and his legs, and a good amount of insulation. And it removes his naked moodlet debuff, and yeah, Aragorn's is awful, which again was to be expected. Since they now have a little bit of protection and they got rid of the naked moodlet debuff, in the wee hours of 4 a.m, we're gonna have Aragorn and Legolas leave our colony and head over to this ruined city and check it out. Alright, we made it to the city, and I don't know if you guys remember, but apparently this was owned by some kind of droid army, and I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I'm hoping there's not going to be any high tier opponents here as we have bows and cloth tribal wear, although that's about to change, I guess, because there's some steel plates on the ground over here, which are nanite, and they offer really good protection against pretty much everything that's not the head. We'll give those to Legolas because he's our best shooter right now. Further in this building, we found an Eternity Forge, which, by the way, I think this thing's really good. Its market value is 12,000, and I think it's what we can use to make nanite armor like this steel plates, and nanite armor is not only really tanky, but it's also indestructible, which isn't really a big deal. I think you can repair armor, and ooh, we got 47 pipeweed pipes over here. I know hobbits really like their pipeweed. Well, pretty much everyone enjoys their pipeweed actually. And ooh, we got some bots. Kitchen 5 bot. That's an insane find. We might just grab these and just get out of here, honestly. Because I would like to get these kitchen bots up and running. They are really good. Holy crap, what just happened? What is this thing? A darned one? And it's pounding on Legolas. We gotta get Aragorn over here to help out. What are you doing, Legolas? Run. Oh my lord, it's fast. I'm disabling shot it. Is that gonna hit? Yeah, it did hit. We'll finish it off because it's incapacitated. I think it's like an animal. Yeah, its category is animal corpses. It was definitely an animal. Legolas got hit on his torso and he's got a crack on his sternum, but that's not too bad. He's still moving at 120%. And what the heck is Jose doing down here? He is fighting a feral striker. Oh no, Jose is getting... Oh, what are these things? We gotta help out Jose. He's in a terrible spot right now, I think. He's actually not taking much damage. Like, he's blinded right now, and I think that hurts his accuracy. Okay, Legolas, save him. Save Jose. Jose is tanky, man. He does not seem to care. And what is that? A commando armor. Arrow storm on this guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, that ability is ownage. Let's finish off this guy, too. Disabling shot him. Or not. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Like, they're not hitting us, really. I don't know if they don't do much damage or what's going on. Holy cow, that guy's fast. Okay, never mind. You do damage. Let's have Legolas disabling shot him. Disabling shot, hello? Use your ability, dude. Here we go. Disabling shot. There we go, we got it. And we'll finish it off. Well, Jose did wander into trouble there, but we found a commando armor, which apparently increases carrying capacity by 60 and movement speed. I thought it was going to slow us down because it gives a bunch of armor to pretty much everything, at least everything that's not the head, but it actually increases movement speed by 0.6. That's an insane amount. And the carrying capacity is insane too. 60 more carrying capacity. We'll let Aragorn wear that because Legolas is already really fast, being that he's an elf. He doesn't need that much movement speed. It's a bit overkill, I think. And holy cow, the commando armor actually has a shield built into it as well. Now, usually when someone has a shield on them, when they're using like a shield belt, they can't shoot with ranged attacks. Let's see if Aragorn can actually shoot here. Okay, yeah, he can actually shoot with the commando armor shield. That's insanely good. His only problem now is he doesn't have a helmet, which there's a steel plated head wrap down here, which is nanite. 168% protection to the head and 8% dodge chance. We'll grab that, as well as, okay, there's another kitchen 5 base station, which is complete overkill. Now we have 3 kitchen robots, 2 of them being tier 5, which is just insane. When we entered the city, it said we had a guest, and I guess this guy's our guest, but he's about to get killed by this Hellmaker. Like, I don't really think we can help him out here. That's just survival of the fittest right there, I guess. Sorry, Lighten. Ooh, he dropped a steel plate helmet though. And he actually has a bunch of steel plate armor. We could give all that to someone. Hopefully this Hellmaker doesn't finish him off though. We're gonna strip Lighten clean. Apparently his faction won't mind that. The only thing that would upset his faction is if we captured him and he's an elf soldier. And there is an elf colony somewhat nearby. So I'd say we wouldn't want to upset them. However, it's a different elf faction. There's apparently 2. And the coastal elves are nowhere near us. Would we even want to recruit him though? Like, he does have 8 shooting, 10 melee. And he is physically adept and he's a psychopath, which is actually a good trait. He doesn't get upset when he sees people die and stuff, which can cause really big mood losses. He is abrasive though, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to anger their faction to capture him. Like, if he did join us, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I'd rather not forcefully recruit him. It's not letting us rescue him, and I think we got to explore a room that's fully... Okay, like right here. We should be able to bring him to this room. No unreachable, unreserved, non-prisoner bed in safe temperature. What do you mean, dude? Like, this is our zone. This is our bed. No one's using it. For guests, maybe. Well, we could carry him to the crypto sleep casket and figure out what to do with him later, which is not going to fix him, but it will freeze him until we decide what we want to do with him. We just got to remember he's there, and we're probably not going to. We're probably going to forget. Meanwhile, Legolas's mood is horrible. He's at 13% mood. Aragorn's a bit better, but they still both could have mental breakdowns at any time. We will try to fix that, though, and we'll have them both smoke some pipe weed, which should boost their recreation meter up to full at least. Well, I guess it didn't boost up to full, but it did give them a nice boost, and also gives them the enjoying pipe weed moodlet for 6 extra mood. To help Legolas's mood even more, we gave him this bedroom, which we did have a couple of sleeping spots in here, and so he thinks it's a barracks, although I think after sleeping in it for a few more hours this will change, and I hope it's going to change into him having a nice room. Frodo is apparently fighting with Gimli. What are you guys doing? Wait, who is Flint? Well, I think Flint's our guest. There was a message that said we had a guest pop in, and we have to entertain him. I completely forgot about that. All right, Gandalf, you're gonna have to step in, and you're gonna have to arrest Gimli, I guess, because, well, I guess just arrest Frodo. He's kind of weak. We do want Frodo to entertain Flint, though, so yeah, we'll hope that this... Okay, good. He is going to be fine. We'll just let him go. And that solved the fight. We didn't have to actually capture him, which we put Frodo in prison. That would upset him a little bit, and that would give him a moodlet debuff. But yeah, let's entertain Flint, and let's try to create friendships with him. And while Frodo do that, he'll prioritize making friends, and then he'll, yeah, be very social. We can also trade with him. Apparently he has some trading goods. He has some packaged survival meals, some repair kits, and a cloth arcane hood, which I guess gives nice bonuses to mages and fighters. Doesn't give much protection though. 10% more energy, and I think mana as well as some more mana and energy regen, and some more arcane resist. That could be good on maybe Gandalf, although Gandalf doesn't really have any mana spamming abilities right now. And we don't really have any money right now, so we'll not really worry too much about it. It looks like Frodo charmed him again. Now his hospitality meter is almost full, and apparently he made friends with Frodo. I don't know if we even want this guy to join us though, because he's really good at cooking, but we have 3 cooking bots. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say we don't really want this guy to join us. I think the saying goes, we're gonna have too many cooks in one kitchen. Meanwhile, back at the city, Legolas does now have the impressive bedroom moodlet buff instead of the barracks one, and I guess if he just keeps sleeping in that room for long enough, as long as there's only one bed in the room, the barracks moodlet will go away. But yeah, his mood's actually pretty good now, and I think we might use this opportunity to just leave the city with mainly just the kitchen stations that we picked up. We could also grab this attorney forge, which values at 12k though, and if we install that in our base, that's going to increase our base wealth by a lot, but I think we'll just YOLO it anyways. And apparently there's a mage spell on the ground somewhere, which can teach a magic user how to create a small orb of light. We'll grab that as well. Hopefully that's not like near an enemy or something. And should we grab this insect chitin? Yeah, might as well. The attorney forge weighs a ton, by the way. If we did not have our stegosaurus with us, we would definitely not be able to carry that. It can carry 153 kg, whereas Legolas and Aragorn can only carry around 33 kg total. I'm just worried that if we don't grab the attorney forge now, something might happen to this city, and if the city does end up getting raided or something, they might take the attorney forge. And it looks like here is the mage spell is actually not that far, and we should probably take all this gear with us now I think about it. There's some really nice stuff here, and actually we can just have Legolas put it all on. We're leaving the city and everyone's just running through, just so many enemies right now. There's so much gear on the ground too. There's a bunch of silver over here, a legendary melee weapon, I think. We just need to get out of here though. Like if we pick something up, it's gonna make things weird. And Sally is over here. I don't know if Sally's gonna shoot at us. Nope, Sally's going inside. Awesome. I don't know why they had to go all the way through the city to leave it, because we came in from the east. You'd think they'd leave through the east, but no. It's okay though, we got out somehow. I have no idea how we got out of there. And apparently Sally has a rocket launcher, so that could have been really bad. The boys got back to base, and by the way, Gimli has been doing some work. He has mined a ton of steel and a ton of wood, which by the way, we should not have all this steel. Doing stuff like this just increases our wealth, and we do not need to increase our wealth right now. We just brought back a ton of goods that are gonna increase our wealth by a lot, such as this attorney forge, which by the way takes 1,000 watts of power. We're not gonna install the thing yet, because I don't think we can even make gear with it, but we will install these bots, which do take 100 power, and we're completely out of power right now. Well, I guess we can witness kitchen bot 1, which, oh my god, the sowing speed on that thing's insane. I believe that thing goes out with 20, yeah, okay, that's definitely 20 planting. Like, it's sowing this field so quickly. The kitchen bots, I think, are the second strongest bots, the builder bots being my favorite, because not only are they good at cooking, but they can also plant as well. And we might be able to make some kind of massive planting export empire. Hold, okay, what is that? Like, it's literally just sawing through those things like they're blades of grass. Like, that tree got one-shotted. Okay, that berry bush got one-shotted too. This doesn't even seem like 20 planting. Like, I feel like this thing's going above and beyond 20 planting. Meanwhile, apparently Gandalf is about to have a mental breakdown, and that's because he performed an investigation on this eerie tree. And basically what happens is an event where either the eerie tree or like this weird monolith will spawn, and someone has to come over and check it out. And when they do, it just destroys their mood. Like, it gives him this negative 4,000 moodlet for an hour. So his mood goes all the way down. And also, yeah, he's apparently going to start slaughtering our animals. Gandalf is going to come over here, and apparently he wants to kill Jose, which we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to have Legolas use disabling shot on Gandalf, which is probably going to hit because Gandalf has no armor on. And he's down. I think that's it. Yeah, he's in catharsis. He's going to snap out of it. He does have a small sanity loss, which increases mental break threshold by a bit. So it's actually pretty easy for him to have a mental breakdown as long as his mood's below 60%. There's a chance he can have a mental breakdown. But he does get a bit extra manipulation, so he will be researching quicker, although he's not researching right now. He's writing in a frenzy, which is part of the event. After he looks at the tree, he'll go a little bit crazy, and then he'll start writing his crazy thoughts down into a book. And he created the Grimoire of the Occult, which we do need for cultist research, which we're not going to do right now. We're going to focus on the actual main research that we need to do. But once we get a couple extra researchers, we'll have one of them focus on doing that. And I really don't want to end this episode, but there's a lot of stuff I have to do today. Like right now, actually, WoW Ascension is launching a major overhaul to their new mode, and I want to go test it out a bit. I was having a lot of fun with that. I do also want to apologize for doing so much Rimworld lately. Like, I've just been having so much fun with the game. I know there's a lot of people that don't really care, but there's a lot of people that have gotten burnt out. And so for those of you guys who are sticking with the channel, I do appreciate it. I do feel like I did just go on a massive hiatus though, with just going so hard on Rimworld lately, and I'm going to try to fix that a bit and sort of balance out the channel a bit more. But I do definitely want to finish this series, or at least get to a point where we lose for whatever reason. In the last season, we got attacked by like 30 scavs, and this was at a point where we only had 6 colonists. This was part of a fairly imbalanced Borderlands mod we were using, and the reason why is because it gave these scavs scav power armor, and like 10 of them had it. This one was poor, so it only gave them 72% armor, and did slow them down a bit, but it gave them more shooting accuracy, which they all had guns, and the only caveat about their guns was they weren't as accurate as normal guns. Essentially, though, just made them really tanky, and it sent way too many of them at us for the fact that I guess we were on like day 50. It just seemed like it was really early for us to be getting invaded by that type of force. I think it treated the scavs like they were tribal villagers, but they just were way stronger. So yeah, I ended up uninstalling that mod. This time around, we got a lot stronger colonists. So some of the mods I'm using send really strong forces at us. We should hopefully be able to deal with them more appropriately. And also the base design I was using really sucked. But yeah, the WoW Ascension updates are in, and I'm going to be playing that right after I edit this video. Depending on how much fun I'm having with that, I'll try to get the next Rimworld episode out in the next few days, but it might be a week. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll look at the feedback you guys give me, and if it gets a lot of likes, then maybe we'll see this episode out sooner. Anyways, with that, I want to thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one.